And so check it out. We in a new place. We knew this was Zoom in shit. Boy's trying to switch up the look a little bit. I look like I'm a battle rapper from King of the Dot days. Shout out 2012 Organic. Pat Stay, R.I.P. So, yo, most importantly, got the chain back. What's up? We got a new shirt on. We are having a midlife crisis. No, I'm kidding. I studied screenwriting for a little bit. If you looked at screenwriting at all, you know that there's this book called Save the Cat. It's like what everybody follows. And there's sort of at least in like Western media, in terms of like movies and stuff in the US, the way that we create movies and write movies, they like follow a couple different story structures, but for the most part, they're kind of like these beats that you got to hit. If you look at the screenplays of all your favorite movies, not all, but like 99%, they like have certain beats that they hit at certain pages along the screenplay. And there's a point in these stories, as they say, where they say like the bad guys close in, and it's like closer towards the end, maybe like 80% of the way in. Your hero character normally has like, whether this is like a romantic thing or, you know, it's an adventure or hero's journey, whatever. They vanquish evil, and then they get injured, and then they come back and have like some resurgence. And there's like a huge drop off right before the end. So this is like, if we think about a universal example, might be like the third Batman, the Christopher Nolan joints, where you have Batman and he's like in the pit of like, I forget what it's called, but it's like the pit of like Ragul or that shit is, wherever like Bane, where he's like, I was born, and like Bane like breaks his back, and like things are going well, right? He's like, things are going well. They're starting to like have this like counter movement, and then like Bane breaks his back, chucks him in this pit, and he has to like fix his, and it feels like hope is lost. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt and his handsome ass at this point are like driving the bus outside the city. He's got all the kids, and you think they're gonna make it, and then they get stopped. The guard like tases him. I forget what it is. They won't let them pass. And if we have to watch the city as like Bane and the lady start just like destroy it. And it looks like they're gonna win. They've got like everything for the bad guys is going according to plan. And you have basically Batman with a broken ass back in a pit, and he like can't escape because there's like this like inescapable thing. There's only one person's ever done it. And that, they call it in this sort of like screenwriting terms, they call it the dark night of the soul. And it's sort of it feels like all hope is lost in these moments. And then Batman, he sees what's going on. He's watching TV. He starts like fixing his back, hitting his like, you know, McGill Big 3. Shout, that's the most niche reference ever, but anybody with lower back pain knows what I'm talking about. And then he ends up like getting his ass out of the pit. He jumps a bunch of times, it doesn't work, and then he ends up getting out of there, and he comes back. And he's like, what's up? Batman is back. He gets Catwoman, her fly ass, drives in on the motorcycle, and they start fucking shit up. What I'm trying to say is, I'm in the pit. I'm in that dark night of the soul pit. Bane fucking hits me with the fucking Undertaker knee on the back, backbreaker thing. He's chucked me in the pit. And I have been suffering from terrible back pain. So that's, I feel like that's why it's one. It does track one. Terrible back pain. I've been struggling with back pain. But more than that, I'm in that dark night of the soul shit where it's like, lost the girl, lost the apartment. So like, that's why I'm trapping out the Airbnbs at the moment. My boss just told me it's a last month on a contract. Lost the job. Left my last business that I was working on, this like writing, you know, trying to do the fictional author stuff, and figure out kind of what that business model looked like. And as the like, you know, I've been pursuing that for maybe 3-4 years, and I finally let that go. So like dark night of the soul type shit. But the good news is, whatever, you know, peaks and valleys out this bitch. This isn't my first rodeo. And so the good news is I think one of the beautiful things of having been here, not this exact place, but like doing this sort of thing before, is you realize that like, as long as it's not fatal, it gets better. And so it's one of those things where you just kind of like chop wood, carry water, and eventually things get better. And one of the like interesting things, but also kind of like heartbreaking things, I think, for myself is I tell myself all the time, this importance of like documenting your life. One, because you can look back on it, and two, I got some interesting feedback in the last episode where people are like, how do you feel about AI? Some people are like, I hate AI. Some people are like, AI is great. No matter what it is, if you have like documented your life, you can use AI to like draw these kind of through lines or conclusions between stuff. I like these kind of like these hand motions. I've been trying this this camera lens where you can zoom out more so I can get more animated, because I like to talk with my shit. And I'm at this point where, looking back at the journals now, I have 4 years today. I was in Medellin and I had given up the music stuff and then was like dabbling in the like visual arts. That's where I was starting to shoot documentaries. I bought a drone. I got really into photography. And then through there, I was like doing these almost like visual poems. And then I learned, I was like, oh, this poetry is really cool. I started learning poetry, and that's kind of where I got into writing in the first place. And so I'm seeing these sort of like cycles where I kind of have one thing that I get focused on for 4 or 5 years, 10 years with the music, 4 or 5 years at this point now with the writing, that I have these kind of like cycles of like, it's when you break down, and it's after these sort of like breakdown moments that I often find something really kind of beautiful on the other end of them. But they're very messy. They're like messy, and they can take months sometimes. But again, having been through that, seeing that, it's cool to seeing myself kind of discovering the visual arts at this point in my journal, letting go of the music. It's almost like an identical place, but like 4 years ago. It's a little bit farther, I guess. But like, I'd already let go of the music, but like, I'm discovering kind of like learning about cameras and photography and video, and through that also kind of like the writing kind of blossoms out of that, interestingly enough. And it's like I can't think of like a metamorphosis in a way. I mean, I can't think of anything less cliche, but like in terms of you do that sort of like caterpillar to cocoon to butterfly shit enough that you're like, oh, I'm kind of in like caterpillar mode again. And so there's something about that does feel exciting, knowing that there's like, oh, some butterfly shit is going to come out of this. I just got to go through the caterpillar cocoon phase first. And so even if it is Dark Night of the Soul, like in terms of like how things like life is just really messy right now, and it's emotionally kind of brutal, and like I'm like paying an arm and a leg to like break these contracts, all the fucking contracts for like the long-term stuff that we did on the old apartment, and like there's just a lot. Things are just, the job, it's just messy. But there's also this kind of, there's like this inkling of hope there that I'd say is more than hope. It's like there's a genuine like excitement, I think, for knowing that there's something beautiful on the other end of this. And I'm just such a firm believer in like showing up and doing the reps that like I know something's gonna break on the other side of this, like in a good way, like break to the other side, not like break down. And it's been cool kind of finding my way the first time since I've been able to let go of the writing thing and letting go of making art for the first time that this is the least amount of art I've ever made in my entire life. I take that back. Since I was 21, 22. Letting go of like the art as like an economic engine, or wanting to like make it as an artist. It's the first time that like everything becomes kind of available, which is cool because I love business and I've been learning about business and marketing and all these things for a long time. And so it's the first time that I'd be like, what about NAP? Or like, what about coaching? Or like, what about this? And it's cool to sort of like look back now and trying to like reconnect with like, what are things that I'm trying to reconnect with instead of like coming up with a new idea. I'm like, what do people normally ask me for? What or have asked me for in the past? Or how do I kind of show up for people? Just sort of like, what sort of skills or things do I already do that then I'm like, I could kind of take these and build these into something else. And it's also a cool thing about like, it's such a different perspective coming at from the art, especially with the writing. I still had it. Music was the most, I don't want to say, it was the most like true to myself art that I made, because it was just pure expression. It was kind of like, fuck the world. I mean, I'm not making like strange, like Irish, folktale, soap opera or something like that. I mean, I was making like hip hop pop, but like it was the most like pure heart-led stuff where I was like, this is truly from my soul. And I think that's why it was so hard to get feedback on it, and why I didn't want to like fuck with it. I wasn't like, oh, I'm not trying to make this more anything else, but it had mainstream appeal, but I just didn't, the marketing piece was never there. I never like really felt like marketing it. This is the really interesting piece. So this is something I noticed. Really cool inverse here. The most truly me, soul-led stuff I've ever done in my life with the music is the thing I felt like marketing the least. Maybe there's some like weird mental shit going on here, but that's one thing. Number two, I'd say the writing was kind of like this midpoint where it's like, I love the writing, but I'm also I'm writing the market. So I'm understanding like genre tropes, like what makes a good, I'm seeing if we're overexposed here or not. I'm seeing if like what makes a good vigilante justice thriller, what makes a good psychological thriller, what makes a good like, domestic thriller. And then writing to genre tropes. So that, because again, it's like, it's different between just like writing poetry from the soul and then writing books that like actually for people to want to read. Because again, speaking of the screenwriting shit we started with, you kind of got to hit these beats. If you come up and people order pizza, like pepperoni pizza, you got to give them pepperoni pizza. You can't just be like, yo, check out this spinach calzone. This shit is like, nah, I'm on to pepperoni. So I was much more comfortable marketing that. One, writing it to market. And two, like actually doing marketing for it. But the marketing for it, I could never crack because it's really hard for me to show up like this and talk to camera about like fictional shit. Like I don't really want to talk to you guys about like my characters or about like plot devices, or the difference between a vigilante justice thriller and a detective. Like there's a mismatch in terms of the marketing between like Kia's superpowers. There's like showing up, talking to camera, answering questions and talking about ideas and this sort of stuff compared to like, again, the product. There's like this disconnect. And I think that was really hard part. It's like, I was much more willing to do the marketing, but it still wasn't there. And that's, I think, the midpoint. And I think this third piece, this kind of third iteration, which is like the least amount of like pure Kia in terms of like, here's something from my soul that like I made for you, like, or I made for the world, here it is the most, it's like the most utilitarian. Like if this is pure expression, this is the most utilitarian. I'm like, what can I build that just like solves a problem that's not like helping people like with their feel better or something. It's like, what's like the most utilitarian thing I can do? And interestingly enough, this is the one I feel the most comfortable with marketing. Again, probably some psychological shit going on. If like the most pure, truly Kia is the part that feels the most, I've felt the most friction for marketing compared to the most like utilitarian, I feel the most comfortable marketing. Like the least part, like the part that's least Kia when it comes to like just business for the world is the part I'm most comfortable marketing. Again, strange, but I think what I'm dialing into over here is this like, I've been told I have golden retriever energy. I'm not saying I accept that. I want fucking American bully energy. I want XL American fucking blockhead bully energy, bro. Just show up, fuck it. I already got the chain on, bro. I need the fucking chop my fucking ears off a little bit. I'm still with bully energy, but I get it. I'll take fucking golden retriever shit. Fuck it. So I think there's like this coaching piece to this business model of like showing up to like help in terms of utility, in terms of like, how do I just build something that like is utilitarian and helps the world? I still feel like the entertainment and like the music and the writing do that, but it feels different in terms of like thinking about it as like the way that I'm thinking about this kind of product that I'm building now, this sort of like ecosystem of unfortunately I checked out Clarity OS is taken, so I got to find a new thing. But this idea of like helping people find clarity, because It's like very much founder scratching your own itch type shit. The most friction I feel in my life is with the lack of clarity. And so that's why I want to build frameworks for myself. I want to find this research. I've been like balls deep in this, building out frameworks, processes for myself that then I can like build and help it other people with, like transfer these into whether it's like AI tools or whatever. But right now, this piece is like pure utilitarian. And I think the reason why I feel like this piece is going to work one way or another, whether it's this or whether it's anything, is because it plays into these superpowers of just like showing up and talking about ideas. Exactly what I'm doing right now. Like, I've been doing this for over 10 years, right? Like, I like showing up like this, answering questions, and just like talking about ideas, like sharing stuff that I've been learning. And so it's like the content is really easy to make because yes, I can make scripted stuff, which I'm going to do. Because I can really drill into the ideas better with like scripted stuff and like really articulate these kind of like big ideas that I have. But I also can just like show up and do Q&As like this, like just go live or just like every day show up and just like answer questions that people ask me. And so it's so much easier to make this content because this is what I kind of just like naturally is my happy place, is like just showing up, talking about ideas and like dropping gems and like talking about frameworks and shit. Like this is just Kia's happy place. I like this. And so this piece over here, like the Clarity AI, Clarity OS, whatever you want to call it, I've been building out like the project. I've been learning a ton about it, reading a ton about it for my own damn self, but then also like building my own like frameworks and shit. And so the way that I want to start it is with, I have this idea of like building out, like having it be sort of like this ecosystem. I take so many tips from Hormozy on this shit, but basically just like you kind of like sell access on different levels. And I want to like start with coaching just because I just want to get people on the fucking phone to hear like what are problems that people are struggling with most. I'm not doing relationship stuff at first, but like at least for now, it's too heavy for me. I'm also too in it. Like I want to do like job stuff. Should I stay in my job? How do I get a new job? How do I transfer into like a new, I've been in all types of industries, being like, how do I start a business? How do I know when to quit the business? Like all these things that I've already done, I can speak from experience, have stories with, and just know a lot about. And so I feel like I can actually show up and really be helpful with these things. And so I just want to do like rip phone calls. Like I'm trying to just like rip as many phone calls as possible, Zooms, whatever the fuck, just so that I can get hands-on with the problems that people are facing, more getting it outside of myself, recording them all, going through those notes, and then like really starting to build those through lines, the biggest problems, etc. And then building that out into some sort of like productized coaching service, maybe running it as cohorts. I'm not sure what that could look like. It could be cool. But then having like a community piece, it's like kind of coaching, it's community, and then there's like it's like AI powered, where there's some sort of like software piece that I haven't figured out yet. That's why I think like this Clarity OS thing could potentially fit in, where it's sort of like a clarity, or like AI clarity assistant. You can like bounce off questions. It gets to know you. It has like the more that you kind of show up for it and kind of do these, I'm calling them dailies. Like the more it kind of like builds, it kind of like just offer feedback for you. And there's maybe things you can bring into these coaching calls, whatever. But like, focusing on clarity. That's kind of like the word that, whereas like Ryan Holiday has stoicism, Clear has habits. Like I want clarity to be my thing, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people outside of myself also struggle with. 2, some people pay for. And 3, it'll help me get better at it. And that's something I think is like a truly valuable thing to have. And it's a big enough meta that there's like, it like functions, it comes down into like all these other stuff that I like to talk about, because it's just kind of like, it's not so generic that it's just like random life coach advice, but it's like big enough that I feel like I could do this for years and not get bored of it, compared to like speaking on camera, is another one. I was like, oh, this is a cool one. People have asked me for it before. Yeah, do you show up, turn the camera on, talk to it? But like, I can't talk about just speaking on camera for years and like not want to shoot myself. Whereas like this idea of like making hard decisions, like these ideas around like work and life and starting your passion and taking action and these sorts of things that I'm just like high on anyways, that is like kind of like my meta level thing that I can kind of like work the rest of it under. So if you have a decision that you're working with, what I'm trying to say is, let's talk. Hop on the phone, call me. The way that I'm thinking about this is I'm going to set up just like a phone number you can text, and then I'll like, because I do a lot of walks and talks. Like I like going, and so I just want to like all people to just be able to text me. And then I'm thinking maybe it's either Instagram DMs or I set up something like open phone, really super simple, where you can text me, and then I just like rip through these and just like send voice notes, because I'm a walker and talker more than I am a texter. And so I'm trying to like, I'm also like possibly jerry rigging my own thing with Claude Code, but like I want to be able to just like go on a walk, look up my phone, have just like a shitload of questions, and just like send voice notes to people and be like, hey, have you thought about this framework? Check out this book. Here's my 2 cents on this, and just sort of be like a hot when that hotline just like be on my own hotline bling shit. So this is my bat signal that if you want to, let's hop on the horn, let's talk through some hard decisions, whatever's going on in your life. I'll lend you an ear. I'll probably ask you some hard questions. My whole thing is I don't have the answers. You have the answers. My job is to help you get clarity around your own wisdom that exists in your own body, but helping you get out of your own way. Helping make difficult decisions easier. That's the slogan we're running with for now. Again, it's a work in progress. Yeah, so I'm in the fucking hole of Ragul or whatever it is, and I'm getting my fucking push-ups on, and I'm getting my fucking my training on, so I can leap my way out of this pit at some point. But it's good. It's good. Overall, things are good. Figuring things out. It's all over the place. But there's like this undercurrent of hope. And that's enough. That's enough. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all as always. And I'll check you on the next one. Peace.